a creation of Arlene Klasky, Gábor, Chucpo, and Germain. Rugrats was one of the original 3 Nicktoons, along with Jinkins' Doug, and John Kricfalusi's The Ren and Stimpy Show, that played a very significant role in building Nickelodeon's reputation. Since its first episode on August 11, 1991, Rugrats had 9 seasons with a total of 172 episodes, making it Nickelodeon's 3rd longest-running animated show. Also, in case you weren't aware, the series won more than 20 awards that included 4 Daytime Emmys and 6 Kids' Choice Awards. And dare we disregard its own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Well, to put it briefly, if you're someone who grew up in the 1990s, then you must have watched Rugrats and been completely enthralled by the playful capers of Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, and Angelica. Now, let's get to the main part of today's video, where we'll be talking about 9 dark and adult things about Rugrats. Are you ready? Let's dive right into the video then. Rugrats uses negligent parenting as the main narrative engine. One can't really deny the fact that the premise of Rugrats fundamentally relies on a foundation of negligent and largely absent parenting as its primary narrative engine. You see, the toddler's adventures are only possible because the parents are consistently preoccupied, oblivious, or simply not present. The babies are frequently put in risky circumstances and exposed to things that might be safe for adults, but dangerous for the children. No wonder their world is big and dangerous, because the grown-ups are too preoccupied with their own issues to adequately watch over them. The series features the saddest episode of a kids' TV show ever made. Ardent fans of the animated series have always said that the first 3 seasons were Rugrats' best, but the episode we're stressing is from the 4th season. We're categorically talking about Mother's Day, which happens to be the 2nd episode of the 4th season. We learn from the episode that Chucky's mother, Melinda Finster, died from an illness shortly after he was born, and his father Chaz has been raising him alone. This revelation reframed Chucky's entire personality by showing how he dealt with early childhood grief. It's fitting to admit that the show simultaneously made use of a child's anxiety as a constant reminder of the deep sorrow that shapes his young life. The most popular character from the show had mental health issues. There's no doubting that the insanely notorious Angelica Pickles was a constant annoyance and bully to everyone in her vicinity. Yet there seems to be explanations for this. A dark and unsettling fan theory claims that everything stems from her family life. Angelica's father married Charlotte, a success-obsessed workaholic who only wanted Drew for his money, after her biological mother overdosed on heroin and died. While the show in general never hints at this, the Rugrats theory posits that Angelica was a crack baby due to her biological mother's drug use, and that's what caused her mental illness and led to her imagining the babies, who were basically representations of her dead relatives. Rugrats featured disturbing dream imageries that were unusually dark for a kid's show. The dream and nightmare sequences in Rugrats have consistently been one of the show's most disturbing elements, visually manifesting the toddler's unconscious anxieties in terrifying, surreal ways that often contradicted the show's lighthearted tone. For example, Tommy's nightmares often included him or his friends being strapped into devices resembling electric chairs or other harsh restraints. Next, the children's profound fear of being confined, neglected, or left alone by their parents is often visualized through prison settings and jail bars. However, what is undisputably the most unnerving is the distortion of adult faces and their very features. Imagine the adults morphing into clouds, stars, and airplanes amongst other things. The surrealistic dream sequences were definitely a wild ride. That seemingly cheerful facade of the animated series often concealed profound existential and mortality themes. Like it or not, but the core of the children's adventures had been abandonment anxiety. Every time the toddlers got out of their crib or playpen, they took back control of their lives in a world where the adults were unreliable and could disappear without warning. The show frequently tackled identity crises. The babies struggled to understand their place and purpose, especially when confronted with the complex rules of the adult world. Rugrats also addressed sibling replacement anxiety, particularly with the introduction of new babies. For instance, Dill Pickles, Tommy's baby brother, was born in the 1998 animated comedy film The Rugrats Movie. In short, what we're attempting to convey is that this put the established hierarchy to the test and made the original characters face the notion of their own disposable nature, along with the fleeting nature of their significance to their parents. There was some significant behind-the-scenes chaos and creative friction directly impacting the production of Rugrats. Well, there was a lot of chaos and artistic conflict that had a direct effect on how the episodes were made. One of the major issues involved a lawsuit filed by Toho Company Ltd., the creators of Godzilla. Toho sued Nickelodeon and the Rugrats creators over the episode titled Reptar on Ice. They claimed the show's dinosaur mascot, Reptar, was a deliberate and unauthorized parody of Godzilla. While the specifics of the settlement are confidential, the situation created legal pressure and financial burdens on the production early in the show's run. As for the creative conflicts, the core of the instability lay in the ongoing friction between the show's creator, Klasky and Csupó, and head writer Germain. Germain, who was instrumental in developing the show's distinctive voice and writing the cynical dialogue for Angelica's character, often clashed with Klasky over the show's direction. Klasky wanted to keep the show lighter and more focused on the whimsical world of babies, while Germain favored a more cynical and adult-aware tone. That's not all. Mind you, the biggest fight was over Angelica Pickles. Germain had conceived her as a manipulative bully, necessary for conflict. Klasky, disliking the idea of a child villain, often tried to soften the character. This is what led to Germain's departure after the first run of episodes, contributing to the show's eventual hiatus. Controversial storyboard jam sessions were used by writers to vent creative frustrations. First things first, the whole storyboard jam content was an alleged controversy that ended up becoming a famous piece of behind-the-scenes lore, illustrating the tension between creative freedom and network standards. The writers, particularly during Rugrats' early, more cynical phase, led by Paul Germain, supposedly resorted to informal storyboard jam sessions to vent creative frustrations by depicting the toddlers in genuinely perilous or macabre situations, far exceeding the show's established boundaries of child endangerment. The alleged storyboards featured themes like extreme child endangerment and dark psychological themes. While the first theme portrayed situations in which the children confronted true, non-cartoonish danger, the second theme examined their deepest anxieties and the adult shortcomings and failings with an inappropriate adult cynicism. Rugrats' groundbreaking Jewish cultural representation had sparked a major controversy. There's no denying that Rugrats was unquestionably renowned for its innovative portrayal of Jewish culture, which was directly inspired by co-creator Arlene Klasky's ancestry. Klasky, who grew up in an interfaith family, purposefully structured the Pickles household as an interfaith dynamic. Tommy's mother, Dee Dee, was shown to be Jewish, while his father, Stu, was not. In case you didn't know, this was considered essential by Klasky to reflect real-world American mixed households. The representation was primarily channeled through Dee Dee's parents, Boris and Minkas, who were Jewish immigrants, and while this did lead the show to earn critical acclaim, it also sparked controversy. In 1998, the Anti-Defamation League charged that the character of Grandpa Boris in a Rugrats comic strip resembled anti-Semitic drawings that were featured in 1930s Nazi-era newspapers. Things got heated up because the strip depicted Boris reciting an Aramaic prayer, the sacred mourner's Kaddish to be more precise. Although Nickelodeon's then president defended the show, the company ultimately issued an apology and promised that the specific comic strip would not be published again. A sequel series continued showing the lasting psychological harm from the neglect and trauma of the original series, hinting potential abuse and brain damage. Did you know that the Rugrats sequel, All Grown Up, is a profound, if subtle, examination of the pain and long-lasting psychological damage that the toddlers experienced during their unsupervised Rugrats years? The toddlers' exaggerated characteristics developed into identifiable teenage problems. For instance, Chucky Finster's signature phobias developed into severe social awkwardness and persistent generalized anxiety. Extreme materialism, vanity, and sophisticated psychological manipulation characterized Angelica Pickles' adolescence. As for Tommy Pickles, he exemplified the long-term mental strain of always being the responsible one in a chaotic, unsupervised setting. His concern over constantly having to save the day turned into teenage neuroses about school, friends, and ambition. Marvelous verdict. Well, it's safe to admit that Rugrats was a trip on its own, and with this, we finally come to the end of our video here. So who here happens to be a fan of Rugrats? We'd love to know who your favorite animated toddler was. If you can think of more interesting facts to add apart from what's here in this video, hit us in the comments section. And you already know what to do if you enjoyed this video. Please do leave a thumbs up and stay tuned with us, as we promise to come back with another favorite video soon. Until then, stay safe and stay marvelous. Also, thanks for watching. Have a nice one. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.